So I want to introduce everybody to a tool that I like to call Swift Target. Now, Swift Target is for people out there who run Facebook ads. Now, I want to walk you through a quick process that all of you have probably dealt with. If you're in Facebook and you want to run an ad to a page or promote a post or anything like that, you have to determine your targeting, right? Your targeting determines who sees your ads. But the problem is that precise interest targeting is kind of difficult to do. So if you want to run an ad against people who like Google, you go in here and you type in Google, and then you find all these different options to see what kind of things can I run an ad against with people who like Google. Now you get this little hashtag thing. That's called topic targeting. Now topic targeting is what I like to call the broad match of social keyword targeting. So you don't really know who you're hitting. But then you have precise interest targeting like the word Google itself. So if I add the word Google itself, then I get a couple other options here. So I get Google, and then I get 5, 6, 7, 8 options of things to target when I want to run an ad against the word Google. Now the problem is that if I want to expand that out, it's kind of hard because I have to start to dream up what other iterations. Do I look for search engines? Do I look for SEO? Do I look for AdWords? I have to just keep typing until I find these things. Now the alternative is to use a tool like I've developed, which is called Swift Target. Now Swift Target is designed to do exactly that for you. So if I go in and I type the word Google, then I use Swift Target to go out and find these for me. So this is a process that you're very familiar with. It's keyword-based analysis, keyword-based thinking to go out and target instead of your social topic-based thinking. So instead of going out and thinking who would like something like Google, you use the same kind of analysis that you use to approach AdWords to approach Facebook. So I do Google, I can add some related keywords if I want. This is just going to go in and find some related terms. Then I go into my likes and interests tool. Now this gives me a couple different ways to expand my list of topics to target on Facebook. So this is actually going to find me things that I can only run ads against. So I'm first going to run this tool called Matching Likes. Now what Matching Likes is going to do, it's going to use the keywords that I've specified, go out and find me places that I can run ads against of people who also like Google. So I'll get a bunch of different options here of each one of these. Now from this list, some things I may not know what they are. So if something like www.google.com, I don't know what that is. So I can actually double click that. It's going to open up a browser for me, and it's going to show me different results for what types of things come up when I search for that. Same thing with this. If I'm not sure what I'll Google it is, I can double click that and I can get a whole bunch of different results that tell me what I'll Google it is. You can even see here's the Facebook page right here. This is a really quick way to help make sense out of your list. Now this is a level 1 likes and interests search. Now if I really want to expand this list out beyond what Facebook already gives me in this kind of scenario, I can go through and I can run what's called the page like search. Now the page like search is a secondary level beyond the basic targeting that I get from Facebook. This takes a little bit longer. Generally speaking, this can take anywhere from 5 minutes to 20 minutes to 30 minutes depending how large your keyword list is. The more keywords you have in here, the broader your search is, the more results this will output. So you get a little number down here, it says 7. You'll see the total number that this takes to fill up. Now with your results, you're going to see a couple things. You're going to get the name of the target. This is actually the page or group or interest that you're targeting in Facebook. You're going to get the estimated reach for that, and this is specific for the United States, and I'll show you how to change that in a minute. Then you're also going to get something called frequency. And what frequency is the number of repetitions that thing has shown up when you have multiple keywords. So if I'm doing Google, Google News, Google Maps, when it goes in and it looks for relationships there, you're going to see Google Chrome shows up when you look at Google Maps, or Google Chrome shows up when you look at Google. And you'll see the frequency of that happening is higher and higher and higher when you have a very tight relationship. So people who like Google also like Google Chrome, Google AdSense, Google Maps, Aardvark, whatever they are. So as the frequency goes up, the relationship to the initial set of keywords also goes up. So you can see here my total is 36, 38, and it's rising. So this is secondary targeting beyond the initial list of just saying, I want to advertise against people who like Google. This is a secondary, much larger, good set of keywords that you can go out and target without having to sit there and say, okay, well, I want to target Google. What else can I target? Do I want to do, AdWords? or do I want to do this or that or that? So you just keep typing in, typing in, typing in when you're doing this normally. But then with Swift Target, all you really need to do is start with a seed list, a couple clicks, and it starts to populate that list for you. This is actually really cool because you can do a few things with this. You can manage this list, you can sort by frequency, you can sort by estimated reach, and you can look again at every single one of these, do a quick double click, and then go into Google itself and see more information about this list to determine if you want to keep it or dump it from the list. So this will run all the way through, and you can see this quickly builds up a really, really big list for me to do. Now I have a couple options. I can go through, I can sort by reach, and I can go long tail, or I go out and I pick the little ones, which people probably don't know, like Google Chrome for Mac, Life at Google, Google AdWords. These are small areas where I might have a very good relationship with my end user. I know what to target, or I could go up to the big ones and broad target without having to use the hashtag and say, I want these really big buckets of people. These are definitely my end user. I want to hit them. So you have a lot of options. You can crop the list, you can remove specific listings from there, and you can export from here directly to a CSV file, which you then take the list, import into Facebook, paste right here, and then you can start running ads. Now you also see one of the interesting things which I don't like about Facebook is the audience. Now the audience here, if I'm going after Google and Facebook, you can see is 29 million people. Now I'm going to stop this run just to show you. I do this a lot different with Swift Target. Now, I've run Facebook ads for a while now, and one of the things that I always hated was having to actually stop what I'm doing, go through and figure out what do my demographics look like. So if I have this huge set of data right here, say I know I don't want Eminem in there, so I can remove that. I know I don't want music in there, I can remove that. I can cherry pick this list. So if I'm in the United States, currently, here's my targeting in Facebook. Now if I go into my tool in Swift Target and I click on targeting, I get an entirely different view here. So instead of looking at it as a single number, I get the entire demographics in one fell swoop. So now instead of having to say, okay, well maybe I just want to target, women, or maybe I just want to target men, or maybe I want to target specific age ranges, I have the option now to do all of this at once. So in Swift Target, I get my demographics here. I can see what does my population look like. How many of them are single? How many of them are married? How many are men, women? And then I can even go deeper. I can set age brackets. So say I want 18 to 25. I can add that bracket in. It resets my entire population, and then I get those exact targeting metrics just from that particular demographic. If I also want to look at what is 26 to 45, I just add that. Now it's going to give me the breakdown of all of those. Now it does this dynamically, so instead of just looking at a single population, I can see my whole population. And you can even take advantage of things like education targeting, you can take language targeting, or even workplace targeting. Say from this list I want to know from here how many of these people actually work at Google. So I can add that filter, and from my original 30 million population, I can see that there is a total of, give it a second to pull all this because it's pulling a whole lot of numbers, 9,320 people from my original population of 30 million that currently work at Google. Here's my demographics, 6,000 are men, 3,000 are women. Here's my age ranges, and this makes this a beautiful tool. As you can see, there's no exact match here. If I set to require exact match, then this is a hard stop. These numbers become a lot more rigid. This is a really, really cool thing for this. And if I do this normally, and I'm trying to create an ad normally, it's hard for me to determine what are my demographics. Who am I going to run an ad against? How am I going to split test this? If I use Swift Target to get an idea, here's my population, then I can see for the likes and interests that I'm looking at right now, I know exactly what I'm looking at in terms of population. So if I go through and let's say I want to take out all of these big ones at the top, and then I look at my targeting again, it immediately resets to my new population. So before I had 9,000 people working at Google, I eliminated a big bucket of the really broad targeted ones. Now I only have 7,000 people. So as you change your demographics, as you change your likes and interests, your demographics also reflect that change. You could do the same thing by changing your countries. You can do the same thing by eliminating or adding more to your likes and interest lists. So if you're a person who uses Facebook Facebook ads on a regular basis, this tool is absolutely vital to your success. A couple other quick things to show you. There's a couple tool tips in here. If you're not sure where to go, just click on a question mark. It'll give you more information. You can add more keywords, 5, 10, 25 keywords in the keywords one. This pulls from a WordPot API. So if you go into the settings section, there's a WordPot login. Simply set up a free account, put your login and password. We are a Facebook API ad approved tool, so we're actually pulling from the ad API. We're not scraping Facebook. We are a legit tool. We're an API provider, which is an application only type process. Not everyone can get this, and I worked hard to get it. So this tool requires you to set up a login password, validate with the Facebook API even before you can pull this information. And once you do that, you get API access granted. And then there's the general settings of minimizing to tray and exiting on close. So if you're the kind of person who runs Facebook ads on a regular basis, you can see the value of this tool. Being able to go through and expand your list really quickly and get some really good valid results. Again, if I sort by frequency, if I start with Google, you can see how many different things show up here which I could potentially run ads against that come out really, really quickly. So if you go long tail, you get the small ones that are really hard for people to find, but then if you go really broad, you get the real big ones too, and you can see how closely they're tied to your original search. There's actually a third level, which I don't use very often, but it's another tertiary way to expand your list, called group member likes, which actually goes beyond the how do I target a page, how do I target a specific likes or interest, and it looks for groups related to the term that you want to run an ad against. So if there's a group about Google, if there's a group about Chrome, then it'll also pull those into your likes and interest pool. Now the interesting part about this tool again is that you're only returning results that you can run ads against. Just because there's a page on Facebook doesn't mean that you can run an ad against it. These are only topics that you can run ads against. And if you've ever run an ad in Facebook, you'll understand exactly the value of a tool like this. It saves so much time and it gives you so much more broad information just by starting with a single keyword. So just go in, put your keywords in, run your matching like search, run your page like search, set your demographics, and then as soon as you're done setting your demographics, you can go through to this likes and interests tool, hit export, and then you're ready to go. All you need to do then is copy those lists, put them in Facebook, run your ads, and then you can see you'll find new, better targets that you never even knew existed with SwiftTarget.